Hello and welcome to No Format Required's Books and Brews, a book club down to Trevelyan, where we come together to discuss our latest reads, share our favourite passages, and engage in insightful conversation that broaden our perspectives, or just have a few of our preferred brews while chatting nonsense. I'm Mike, and with me is the landlord and host of the book club, Charlie.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. It feels like it's been ages since I chatted to you.
It was probably maybe over 5 minutes. Yeah. Just enough for me to go to the toilet.
Exactly. And to refresh our drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm taking my time. I might refresh mine during this podcast. So if you hear a clinking and some pouring, it's just me refilling.
It's Books and Brews, or I can't remember what I called it. I think I called it that.
Books and brews.
Brews and books.
Brews and books. Apart from we're
Books
drinking
and beers.
Books and beers. We are drinking the rum is called Holy Island Spiced, which is from Northumbria, I think. Alnwick in Northumbria, Northumberland. The same place. Oh, Northumberland.
No idea.
Yeah, in
I'll be honest.
Alnwick.
I'm just trying to think of a joke about holy and an island. I'm just trying to think if there's any like places that sound like Swiss cheese. That's where my brain's been going during that whole conversation. I got nowhere. If anyone has thought of a pun with that, please email us at noformatrequired@gmail.com because I would really love to hear one.
Or comment it on the
on our socials, Instagram,
medias,
Facebook, X. I'm going to call it.
It's X now, isn't
Twitter. It's Twitter. Just
Twitter.
to piss off Elon.
Yeah.
We're close friends, me and Elon, and he knows that I hate the name X. So
why have you not got? If we're close friends, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why have you not got him to promote us?
he's busy working.
No, that's true. But yeah, as Mike said, I don't think we've ever done a book episode, have we?
No.
So I was quite pushing for this just because recently I've been reading a book that I'm going to be discussing. Because otherwise unless I'm really into a book, I don't.
I'm not these people. Do you know the last time I read a book all the way through?
2013.
Maybe. I've got no idea.
Oh, okay.
Genuinely no idea. No, there was one that I read all the way through and I really enjoyed it, but I couldn't tell you what it was called, and I was really proud of myself for reading it all the way through recently.
Okay.
I say recently, within the last 4 years.
See, I read all the Harry Potter ones, but then the last book I read, it was a really weird one. And my dad had recommended it. I can't remember what it's called. I probably should have maybe made notes about this.
Yeah, I've made no notes about this episode whatsoever.
No, I've got a few notes. But it was about the Titanic, and it was like a thing of the...
I bet that book goes down well.
Yeah. Too soon, Mike, too soon. Too soon.
I feel like I've made that joke on the podcast already.
Yeah, this was all set up so Mike could make that joke. We're going to...
When I worked in the pub in Bristol, there's a brewery. I don't know. I think it is a sort of like Southwest brewery, but it's called Titanic Brewery. And whenever anyone would ask for a pint from there, I'd be like, "Oh, it's good that one. It goes down well."
Actually, we went to the beer festival last year, and I had a Titanic Stout from the Titanic Brewery. But this book I was reading, it was my dad had recommended it, and he's into all of his like mystery. I suppose like conspiracy books, if that makes sense. So he has a lot of like about aliens and sort of like Bermuda Triangle and ancient sort of Egyptians and the mythology and the aliens and stuff. So this book it was about the Titanic, and it was about them like kind of going down and searching for stuff and things like that. Anyway, the book ends because I knew my dad had told me a bit about it. But anyway, they sort of find this woman she's like kind of in a, I don't know, she's locked in a cabin, or I can't remember I probably should have thinking this. It was such a long time ago since I read it, but anyway, they found when they searched the Titanic, basically found this woman's body, but it was in perfect condition, like she just like literally died minutes before, so it wasn't decayed or anything like that. She's still thingy. So I was getting towards the end of the book, so I was thinking, like what's going to happen here? And then they're sort of talking about sort of seeing if they could reanimate her and all this, and then they sort of find her, sort of bring her up to the surface, and the book ends. That's it. And I was like, I'd been fast forwarding this book, like not fast forward, but really reading it to get to this point.
Yeah,
I knew that
and then
point
nothing happened.
And I was very, I was quite disappointed about it. But yeah, so.
Well, I've just found out when it was the last book that I read.
Oh, okay.
It was either Ready Player One or James A. Caster's Classic Scrapes.
Mm-hmm.
One came out in 2017, one came out in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Well, sorry, not the book. The book for Ready Player One might have come out before, but the film came out in 2018, and I read it just before the film.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was when I last read a book all the way through. However, number one, really annoying when you sort of have a plot in your head.
Yeah.
And it doesn't follow that.
Yeah. That was
very,
annoying.
very frustrating.
That was, because to be honest, the book itself, I thought it was shit. But I was like, you really want to know what happens to something. That's what. I mean, the book I'm reading now. So there's a TV series on Apple called Silo.
Okay.
So it's basically set in sort of a post-apocalyptic future. Everybody is sort of living in this silo underground, so it's like a big underground bunker, but it's like a big circular bunker. But people, and they sort of have this camera of the outside world, but nobody sort of knows what's happened, why they're there, and it's like, I mean, there's sort of like 300, maybe about 300 years in the future, sorry, and there was a rebellion that happened 200 years before, but nobody knows. All the documents supposedly of what happened in the past have gone.
Yeah.
Anybody that questions sort of, basically, if you ask to leave the silo, you're basically sent out for cleaning. So you're sort of sent out in like a suit, sort of like I suppose kind of like a bit of a space suit. You sort of go outside, everybody can see you on the camera, and then basically it's your decision. So you're given a bit of wool, and you have to clean the camera, but it's your decision. They basically say it's your decision whether you clean the camera or not, but you can't come back in. And then people will go and they'll clean the camera, and then they die because of it being toxic outside. No. So yeah, I watched the TV. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away because obviously people that want to watch it. But yeah, I watched the TV series, like binged it, and I was like, oh. Then found out it was a book, and I was like, but so the series of books. So there's the first book, Wool, the second book, Shift, and then the third book's Dust. But it all split up into segments. So yeah, watch the TV series. Google.
Is the TV series based on the first book? Or?
So yeah, the TV series basically is half of the first book.
Oh, okay.
So the first book is, I've got it up here. So there's, it's a dog barking. I thought it was somebody screaming then. So yeah, the first book here is it's split up into 1, 2, 3 to 4 sections. It's all in one book. It's split into 4 sections. You what? Sorry.
So I'm just like wondering if your mic's on.
Hello. Yeah, I think it is on. Yeah.
I couldn't see a blue light.
Yeah.
Sorry for distracting you there. Moving on for the podcast.
I'm glad you said that now, because imagine if we'd done the whole episode and not ringing it.
That's why I thought, interrupt now.
Make sure it's
anyway, sorry.
So basically the first series, Silo, is half of the first book, which is Wool. So I was like, I didn't want to read it all from the beginning, so I basically Googled from what chapter I needed to go to in the book from the series. So I basically read half of that book.
Okay.
But yeah, really.
So you're going to watch the TV series before you continue on with the books then?
No, so I've watched. So I've watched the series on Apple, which is half of the book.
Yeah.
Then I've got that book and read from that half the rest of that book.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. I thought you meant you read up to that point.
Oh no. So I've read up to half of that, and then now I'm on the second book. So the second book is Shift, and that's basically set. It's kind of like a bit of a prequel to how the silo becomes. Yeah, basically what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean these books, like the silo, the Wool books. It's like you've kind of got each chapter is a different person's story. So you kind of read one person's story and you think, oh, I really want to know what happens to them. But it's like, well, I've got to read. It's sort of like following sort of 3 different people. The bit I've been reading. Then you sort of read a second person's story. You think, well, I'm going to read at least 3 because I want to get back and just finish on that person's story. But then another person's story. Oh, I really want to happen to that. I mean, I was like really ploughing through it. It's probably the fastest I've ever read half a book. I mean, Lauren was like, oh, you should have read it from the beginning because
I do think that because sometimes TV shows and films don't follow the books.
Yeah, there was a few bits in it which were a bit confusing. Like one of the characters in the series is a female, but in the book she's male.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not really a big change, but I don't know why it was. But yeah, there was like in one of the series there was a person that was like a bad guy. Well, sort of not a bad guy, but actually no. I kind of if I can't thingy, I might spoil it. But yeah, there was a character in it that I basically thought was going to be killed who ended up turning not to be, but yeah, maybe I should have kind of read the. But yeah, I was too impatient. I was very much too impatient. But But yeah, I've currently lent the first book to my dad, so I'd recommend to anyone to watch the series. It's really good.
This is a book club, not a TV club.
I know, but it's a book. Well, a book based on a TV series. Yeah. I'm trying to think who it's got in it. It's got what's her name? Rashida Jones?
Oh yeah, from Parks and Recs and I Love You Man.
It has from Game of Thrones. What's his name? Ian Glenn. Is it Ian Glenn?
Glenister played Batman as well in Titans. Is it Glenister?
Ian. It's Ian. He's like in Game of Thrones. He plays
the
old guy that sort of comes back to sort of thingy to
with Daenerys.
Yeah.
Starting to turn into rock halfway through.
Yeah.
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 I'm pretty sure it's Ian Glenister, but it might be.
It might be. No, you're right. It might be Ian Glenister. And then it also has from Shawshank Redemption, the main guy.
Morgan Freeman.
No.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I recognised.
Okay.
But yeah,
casting.
Silo. Yeah, on Apple TV. I'd highly recommend
have a look out for it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the books I read lately are basically children's books.
That's weird because you don't even have a child.
Make this joke so often. Yeah, I think we plough through about 4 books a night.
Mm-hmm.
We have to we're going to the library tomorrow because he just reads through them so quickly.
Oh, okay.
We collect the I don't know if you remember from when he was younger, the Wonderful World of Reading books, like Disney books basically.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, they're quite, if you knew them you'd know them.
Yeah.
They're basically, there's loads and loads of stories, and I collected, I've probably got about 150 of them so far.
Oh wow.
Just buying from charity shops for them.
How much do they cost?
Like 50p a pop.
No, that's not too bad.
Sometimes it's like 3 for £1, it's a bargain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I collect them. But I started reading again because when I lived in Bristol, there was a book that I read. I'm pretty sure it's called Severed by an author called Simon Koenig.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting halfway through it. I can't massively remember what happened, but I remember the beginning, and I left it on a train.
Oh really?
And I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I found it again recently in a charity shop, and I started reading it, but I struggle to read these days. I don't know what it is, but I just can't get into it as much.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with reading. Like, I remember when the 6th Harry Potter book came out.
Yeah.
Being on holiday in a Haven holiday camp in a caravan.
Oh, okay.
And just lying on like one of those crappy sofas, that they have.
Yeah.
In caravans, and just reading the whole of it on holiday.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with reading. I don't know. Yeah, just can't get into it as much. But this book, Severed, I really need to finish it because I really enjoyed it. Basically, a guy wakes up in a room. This is no spoilers because literally the first 2 chapters, effectively, I'll be spoiling. But it's very minimal in terms of the actual book. Wakes up in a room and looks over next to him, and there's basically a decapitated body there. And he's like, what the fuck happened? Like, what's going on? And then a videotape starts playing in the hotel room, and it shows him having sex with this girl that he recognised. It was someone that he knew.
Yeah.
And then killing her and chopping her head off. And he was like, it's him clearly doing it, but he knows that he wouldn't have ever done that.
Okay.
So it's like, what on earth's gone on? And it's like, even like things like, he says there's like a mole or something that he's got and that's on there. It's like, it's me, but it's definitely not me who's done that.
Yeah.
So it's the mystery about like him trying to work out what's gone on.
It's a bit heavy for Disney books, isn't it?
Oh no. Look at that. And then my friend sent me another book recently in the post. I didn't know it was him to begin with. I was like, what the hell's happened? Like, but there was a TV series called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Okay.
And it's basically a sort of like parody of 1970s TV shows and like really bad. The idea is it's written to be bad, but it's good because it's designed to be a massive parody of the way these are.
Yeah.
And it does it so well. It's actually really good. It's got Matt Berry and what's his name? From the IT crowd, plays Moss.
I know who you mean.
Richard Ayoade.
Yeah.
Got him in it.
Oh, okay.
And the guys come back. I can't remember what he's called now. Matthew Holness.
Mm-hmm.
and he started like portraying this guy, Garth Marenghi again, who was the writer of the TV series. In this, it's basically a documentary that sort of like it's got talking heads on them saying how they created it, and it's actually got the TV series also going alongside it. But he's come back and he's going on stage and he's written a series of books that are purposely bad, but they're good, and I really want to read it because I've watched the trailer of him on tour doing it. He's literally reading out. It's like, I woke up from like a coma. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what I said. I woke up from whatever. How long had gone? Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, centuries, millennia, decamillennia.
Decamillennia.
This is what he keeps on
I've never
doing.
heard of that.
Going on and on. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes. It's just like purposely bad, but it's funny at the same time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually trying to get some time to read that.
Yeah, okay. The second book I was going to talk about was I don't know if you've, again, a TV series, but the book came out before, SAS Rogue Heroes. It was on BBC.
Oh, yeah.
Have you watched it?
But I know about it.
Yeah. So I think the TV series I think is only maybe half the book or something like that, but I've been saving it for my holiday. So me and Lauren, it was our first wedding anniversary, so we paper, so instead of like giving each other money, I think I bought Lauren a makeup book and she bought me this one because I really want it. But yeah, very well, I say that I've not read the book, but I'm very much looking forward to reading it. I know people that have, but if you're interested in your sort of World War II history, and it's all based on sort of true story, and nice. I'm not sure if it'd be up your street.
That's not my sort of thing.
No, but yeah, looking forward to reading that. But now I've obviously discovered these Silo book trilogy. I'm sort of I think it's like,
is it finished and complete, or is there still
no? So I think that you've got the first book, Wall, which obviously is the main story. Then the second book, which I think is sort of like a prequel.
Yeah.
And then the third book sort of, I think, continues on from the first book, if that makes sense. But yeah, after the TV series, I started, because I was like, I want to know, I can't wait. That's why I started Googling what happened. So the first book, I kind of spoilt it a little bit for myself before I even realised it was a book. I'd kind of found a few bits of what had happened and then realised it was a book, so I stopped myself reading, and then just, I think on Amazon, I think I got all three of them for about 20-something quid.
Okay.
I'll lend it to you if you're...
I'm sort of intrigued now, yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch
Let me finish or attempt to read these other two.
Yeah, I was going to say, read them, but yeah. But then, the Harry Potter, I mean, obviously, have you heard the sad news today?
Yeah, well, I actually said we should have mentioned it last episode.
Yeah.
Because as we're recording this today, Michael Gambon's unfortunately passed away.
I know, it was sad.
I didn't realise he was 82 years old.
No, I didn't.
Have I told the story on the podcast? I'm not even sure if I told you about Semi meeting him.
Well, I've heard the story of Lauren, like, sat behind him. I assume.
Well, I was next to Lauren.
Oh, you were? I thought she'd gone with her sister. I didn't realise you were there.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, went to go see The Cursed Child, and Michael Gambon was literally like 2 rows in front of us with his family. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I literally watched Cursed Child with him, Helena Bonham Carter, and...
where was she?
She was quite a bit further down the front. And Bonnie Wright, who plays Ginny. She was also there. What was interesting is Helena and Bonnie both went into a side room during the interval, whereas Michael Gambon happily took a piss next to us all in the men's toilets and just stayed with his family. So yeah,
that's pretty good. And he's probably the most famous actor out of all three of them, isn't he? Really. So I like hearing sort of stories where they're sort of down to earth like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like. Instead of hiding away, like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Was he in? Me and Lauren were talking about this earlier. You remember they did the Harry Potter reunion thing? Was he in that?
I think so. I think he met up with Daniel Radcliffe.
Did he? I was trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah, you're making me wonder now.
If he was actually in it or not, but yeah, he was a good actor. I mean, I'm saying this. I can't think. I couldn't name you anything else he was in.
I'm pretty sure he was in. Was he in Layer Cake?
Oh, okay.
With, he was
Daniel
definitely
Craig.
in one of the Guy Ritchie like gangster ones.
Yeah.
Thief the Cook and His Lover with Helen Mirren. Those are the only ones that I'm aware of, really.
I think he wasn't the first. Obviously, Dumbledore, was he?
No,
he was sort of coming in the third film.
Yeah, it was Richard Harris to begin with, who then died.
But then I think because you think of Richard Harris as Dumbledore, he seemed a lot older Dumbledore.
I think Richard Harris was younger.
Really?
No, I might be wrong. No, I think I'm definitely wrong.
Because Michael Gambon
would have been in his 50s, but when it came... No,
he would have been older
60s.
than that. 60s, yeah. I suppose if he's in his 80s now, it's about 20
Yeah.
odd years since it's done. Yeah, see, he seemed like, yeah, I couldn't imagine, like... I mean, not that he was sort of active in the, like, running around and stuff, but I don't know, I couldn't imagine Richard Harris
doing that role as much.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
He would seem a lot older, but yeah, no. So I remember I was in Canada when I lived there, and I was in a place called Lake Louise, which is sort of on the west coast sort of thing, a place near Banff, and we were going around there, and I ended up buying I think it was when it just last come out, what was the last Harry Potter? Deathly Hallows, wasn't it?
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2, yeah, but it was just one book, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, you're on about the book. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologise.
I remember randomly buying it there, but yeah, I always remember reading that book, and you know the bit in it where they're at the wedding. It's Ron's brother's wedding,
Yeah, at the
isn't
beginning.
it? And they're sort of obviously all there, and then the sort of it sort of comes down to say the ministry's been overrun and stuff. I always remember reading that and being like genuinely like scared.
Shit's gone down.
Yeah, like, but listening to because I've listened to all the audiobooks with Stephen Fry, and who's brilliant, like really. I wish every audiobook was done by Stephen Fry, because he was just like he was really good. And you forget, you listen to the book, okay, yeah, it's some of them about 20 odd hours, but you forget how much extra stuff's in the book.
Oh yeah.
I remember I used to listen to the audiobook, then I'd watch the film after, and the film just seemed to be like 5 minutes long. And you think, oh, this is not in, and you think like even the first book where Harry, before, like in the book, it's chapters and chapters before Harry even gets to Hogwarts. Whether in the film, it's I don't know.
Well, it's like stuff like the thing that always comes out to me is the unionization, effectively, of the house elves in Hogwarts.
Oh yeah,
That's not even mentioned.
No.
Like, I'm sorry to dick on her, but my sister-in-law claims herself to be like the biggest Harry Potter fan ever, but she's never read the books.
Never.
And it's like, you're literally only getting a fraction of what actually happens, and things don't make sense.
No.
There's certain things that you're watching in films, and like the biggest one that I always think about, and I don't know whether I just misinterpret it, but you know when Tonks and Lupin die, she's pregnant, isn't she?
Yeah.
And I don't feel that's really massively mentioned in the films.
Yeah, I'm sure in The Cursed Child, isn't there a child in it?
I don't know. I can't remember. I saw it years and years ago.
I don't. I might be making that up completely, but
anyway, how much time we got left on this episode?
we're on 23 minutes.
Oh, good, because I've got a bit of things to tell you.
Go on then.
I'm actually been writing a book myself.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, about.
It's not your erotic novels again, Mark, is it?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to turn out. No, it's about a guy called George Greytrax.
Oh, okay.
And I've been working on this for some time, but I've got the furthest I've got recently. I'm on now chapter 6 of the book.
Yeah, okay. Have you sort of mapped out the book before you wrote it?
No, that's my biggest issue.
Oh, okay.
I've got an end and a middle, but there's a little bit before the end that I'm not sure how I'm getting to. So I'm hoping that if I just continue to get to there, my imagination will sort of like feed it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's basically about a guy who lives in this world, but he's a Nosu, so he's the only, one of the only people. There's quite a few people, but very minimal in terms of the population in this world, who hasn't got superpowers.
Oh, okay.
And like chapter 3 or 4 flashes back to the event where there's that basically is like a cataclysm event that causes everyone to sort of gain superpowers, but then there's a few people afterwards who are born without superpowers.
Oh, okay.
Most still have powers, but some don't. And obviously his world is like, what the fuck's like, it's got to like sort of, it talks about him like going for lunch and stuff, and he can't like go out because he's in school. Yeah. Can't hang out with his friends at school because it's dangerous and stuff like that. So he's a bit of an outcast, but then suddenly he wakes up, no, he's at school, sorry. And suddenly everyone vanishes. So everyone in the world with powers has vanished.
Oh, okay.
So it's about the ordinary guy who has to save the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the book I'm reading.
How many pages are you in?
Don't know, because the way I've formatted it, I'm not writing. I'm writing it on like my phone, so I can't see how many pages.
Okay.
But I'm
Just on
6
notes.
chapters.
6 chapters in.
6 chapters in, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe every now and again I'll read a chapter out on the podcast.
That'd be interesting.
And then there's a book that actually I've got to give to you.
Oh, okay. Oh.
It's another book I wrote.
Oh, okay. The No Format Required, a podcasting journey with Charlie and Mike, and it's got 2 bears on it with both of our names. Oh, we're nice holding hands as well.
Yeah, we are holding hands.
That's nice, that. Shall I read?
You can read it, yeah.
I'll read a few. So the first page...
It's a children's book I wrote.
So the first page got a picture of 2 bears with holding microphones. Once upon a time, in a land quite exquisite and grand, lived 2 pals named Charlie and Mike with dreams of mics in their hand. Oh, it's a rhyming book.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to do a podcast full of playfulness and glee, where all kinds of topics would flow wild and free. They bantered about TV, films, life, oh so cool. From the board games to takeaways, their minds had no rule. Their podcast would have no format, the idea danced with delight. They would chat about anything from morning until night. They brainstormed their names, oh so many to choose, but they thought that some of them may also confuse. So they asked their wives, the Laurens, for the final degree. That's quite good. And No Format Required one. It was meant to be. This is really good, this, Mike.
Thanks.
I'm just going to skip through a little bit. I'm going to go to the last couple of pages.
Well, don't go to the last couple.
Oh, okay. I'll go to the last...
Just because the last couple changed the format slightly, which if you continue on, you'll see.
Shall I just continue on?
Don't read it all. It's a long book.
Mike crafted a logo. It was simple and neat, and it got Charlie's approval. Yeah, looks good, sweet. A recording date was set, but oh no, what bad luck. A night out with Charlie, Mike was ill. COVID had struck. That is true.
It's all 100% true. So
Yeah.
I went through our messages on WhatsApp from the first time a podcast was mentioned, and I wrote about it. And then in the end of the book, there's a history of No Format Required,
Oh yeah.
which talks about all of those and
Wow.
some of our messages.
So the history of No Format Required, I say I won't read it all, but 6th of March 2022, Mike texted Charlie the following. This podcast has no format with Charlie and Mike. Essentially, it's 2 guys having a couple of conversations. So yeah, no format required with Charlie and Mike, but Charlie preferred the name. This podcast has no format. 8th of March, 9th of March, Charlie and Mike began considering more names for the podcast. April 3rd, a day of strategizing and logistical discussions. April 6th, Mike ever creative soul sent Charlie a barrage of Jubilee wedding set ideas for Charlie's upcoming nuptials. Alas, Charlie's heart was not captivated by these suggestions.
Also, true. Do you remember them?
What was that?
There was a load of Jubilee stuff up at the garden centre down the road.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because my wedding was the date of the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah.
And they've trying to think of April, a significant milestone was reached with the wheel of randomness. God, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think that's quite funny what I've written. So if you read it out.
April 27th, a significant milestone was reached with the wheel of randomness was finalised, complete with a comprehensive range of diverse categories. This dynamic and interactive tool promises to bring excitement and unpredictability to the podcast. It was canned not long after, in addition to the compilation of the wheel, a Facebook page which was also launched on this day, providing a platform for users to engage and share and explore their fascinating world of No Format Required.
It's a very in-depth history.
It is a very in-depth history.
It finishes at your wedding, effectively.
How does it? Oh, look. They've even put a scan me to listen now.
Yeah.
To be okay. Actually, I don't know if I've...
You've read the end, just to be continued.
To be continued.
It's part one of the journey.
May 26th, with Charlie's upcoming nuptials around the corner, both Mike and Charlie agreed to take a break from podcasting until after the wedding. Yeah, that would have been about a week before our wedding. Mm-hmm. Charlie wants to fully focus on the wedding preparations and ensure that everything goes smoothly. Once the wedding is over, they look forward to getting back to podcasting. To be continued, and there's two bears on a road on a night.
Do you get the analogy?
No.
I purposely picked an image where the road's ahead.
Ah, okay.
So basically, all the images are in there. I had got created by an AI because I can't draw, but I was taking like lines that I'd written and plugging them into like this thing to try and come up with an image related to what was going on.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I've even got reviews on the back.
Yeah, obviously fake.
Oh, the Podcast Gazette, Pop Culture Weekly. You should have done one from Rolling Stone. Podcast Junkie Monthly. Embark on a podcasting adventure like never before with no phone required. Oh, this is really good, Mike.
So that's yours to keep.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll show Lauren this. That's really good. Yeah, as you can tell, Mike is very much the brains behind the operation.
Well, I enjoy this creative side of things.
Actually, I don't have the same like level of creation like you do. Like some of the stuff that you've done for the like all the AI stuff and like obviously stuff like this and
AI stuff was just I've got plans for that in the future, but that's.
But even like you did the logo, like found the sort of intro and exit music, and like even do the the trailers and things like that, and then obviously all of the Taskmaster episodes, like they're all.
That's what I enjoy doing. I'll be honest.
Like,
I do feel sometimes I went into the wrong industry.
Should have done media.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I'd done media.
I know, because imagine like you. I mean, hopefully the no format required podcast takes off and becomes a thingy. But say you put your sort of skills towards like that, like say that industry. That was your job doing that. That's your 24/7.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
With what you've done with this as say part time, or probably not even that. It's probably less than part time, really, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine all my time focused on this.
Yeah. There you go, Mike. Promotion. We'll promote anything from a used car dealership to a podcast. So anyway, into marketing.
We'll start sneaking copies of that book into libraries.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, there, Mike. If you send me some, I'll start spreading the word.
Yeah,
I'll start putting some in. I'm trying to think of not just libraries, because I don't think many people use libraries anymore. But like, I'm trying to think places where you could. I suppose like in supermarkets in the books, but then would people think you have to pay for it and not take it?
But sometimes they have those free ones to take. Put in there.
Ah, yeah, that's a good idea. And the fact that you've got the scan thing on the thing there.
It works. It takes you to the link.
Yeah, that's true. No, very good, Mike. That's really good.
I just thought, what, I should probably bring this because I don't have a lot to talk about book-wise. Otherwise.
So instead of not talking about it, Mike effectively kind of creates a book.
Yeah, I make a book instead of reading one.
Oh dear. Right, well, I think that's about time.
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening to our Books and Brews. Brews?
I've got an ending if you want to.
Okay, go on then. You
instead of just taking over.
Go on then.
Thanks for hanging out with us at the book. Seen that? No, I just doesn't feel natural, does it?
No, I really want to hear it, Mike.
Thanks for hanging out with us at Beers and Books Book Club. Until next time, keep your books close and your pints even closer.
Oh, there we go. I mean, we are drinking rum, so it's not really that relevant.
Yeah, but
it's good.
Beers and Books works, doesn't it?
Beers and Books, yeah. Books and beers.
Although, actually, I have just looked at both my notes, and my intro was, welcome to No Format Required Books and Brews, and then my outro, thanks for hanging out with us at Beers and Books Book Club. Not a lot of consistency there. What are we going to go with? Beers and Books or Books or Brews?
Beers and Books, I think.
Beers and Books.
That'd be a good bookshop, wouldn't it? Actually, one thing I forgot to mention was that book that I was reading. At the end, it had book group questions. It had about 3 pages of book group questions to ask.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, which I've never seen in a book before. I've never seen that. But yeah, just to take the thing off Mike's ending.
So say it again.
Say it again. Yeah, say it again. This will be the end.
Thanks for hanging out with us at Beers and Books Book Club. Until next time, keep your books close and your pints even closer.
See you later.
See ya.